Hello YouTube, Nova Grappler. You run one Beast Deity White Tiger because this is Beast Deity and not God Hand because I do not have money. For Ultimate or Ultra Beast, oh, it's a Pokemon reference. For
wait, they're not in Galar.
No, give it a minute. But if you purchase the expansion pass for $30, you can get 200 new Pokemon. That's not how it fucking works. Shut up, you guys. Ultra Beast Deity Luminal Dragon, its skill is good. Once per turn at the end of the battle that your rearguard attacks did not hit, you counterblast one, stay on that unit, it gains 10k, and then you force it to attack your opponent's Vanguard. Pretty good because it gives it power. Also, some idiots won't read your card, and then they'll be like, oh, I didn't see that coming, and then they'll lose. Yeah, its other skills once per turn. When your other unit's attack hits, this unit gets 15k. That can activate on rearguard too, so you can make this a 27k beater. The attack also doesn't need to hit Vanguard, so you can swing it a rear just to pop something off, and then they're like, oh yeah, no problem, I'll take it. And then you get to 27, they're like, oh, I didn't see it coming because I didn't read the card.
Thank you, Golden.
I'm not bullying anyone in particular, just this has been my experience with the deck. You run 4 Beast Deity Azure Dragon just because it's the only other good, like, grade 3 choice. Incel Risers, whatever.
It's not Incel Riser, it's Incise Riser.
Incision, Foreskin,
Joker
Riser.
Society Riser.
Oh my god. So its skill is when it's placed, you counterblast one and draw a card, call a card from your hand to rearguard, and then that card attacks your opponent's Vanguard. Immediately, if the attack didn't hit, it restands. That's actually pretty solid. And then when it attacks you, counterblast one and restand one of your rearguards. Not a bad choice. It helps with how this deck plays. I like it. It's just that I think Illuminal... Well, okay, this card works a lot better early game, and I think Illuminal works a lot better late game.
Well, yeah.
When you want to pressure your opponent to drop more.
The Illuminal's the cross-ride to that.
These aren't cross-rides. Shut up.
Miles, it is a cross-ride.
You run 4 Brutal Jack, because this card is the heavy hitter. This is an Excel deck that is not Aquaforce, so unfortunately this deck does lose to your opponent seeing a single damage trigger. So you have to run Brutal Jack. Its skill is, on Vanguard and Rearguard, during your turn it just gains 10k. But it can't stand during the stand phase. How do you stand it, you may ask? By using its third skill that you've probably read by now because I won't stop talking. Once per turn, rest 2 of your rearguards and stand this unit. You combo that with Scarlet Bird. I'll go into that later.
Miles kept forgetting that you don't stand Brutal Jack in the stand phase in one of our videos, and people raged at him.
I'm pretty sure. So one guy was like, you Brutal Jack doesn't stand, but I kept watching the video and like, I do say, oh my bad, I forgot, and then I rested it.
He probably just paused it at that second, then commented like a moron.
Yeah, right, exactly. So it's like, I don't remember, correct me if I'm wrong, totally, sure, I'll fucking like shave my head if I'm wrong.
He's planning on doing it anyway.
I'll bet it in a game, if I get enough, friends riling me up. I would do stupid shit like that for the channel.
Like when you ate the
egg. When I sucked an egg yolk. No, I'm pretty sure I like stood it and I was like, oh my bad, this doesn't stand, and then I rested it, and it was inconsequential in the end. Okay, you run 3 Kick Typhoon. Its skill is when you ride or call it, if it's on Vanguard or on an additional rearguard, so a marker, it gains, you pick a unit and it gains 5k. Almost always give it to itself just because of its other skill. When it attacks, if all of the rearguards in your front row have rearguards, if all of the rearguard circles are occupied in your front row, counterblast one and stand one of your other rearguards. So it's like, if this is attacking, I almost always want it to have extra power. Also, I run Excel 2 primarily in this deck, so it's like, making it 14k is kind of inconsequential, so let's bring it up to 19. Cars gotta quiet down. They don't know that we're trying to appeal to millions of fans.
To kill, Joseph.
I run 4 Stylish Hustler, just because I like the art. No.
I would've just left it like that.
No, this card's great. On Vanguard Rearguard, when your other rearguard is retired by one of your opponent's cards effect, you can Soul Blast one and put one of those cards into your hand. So like that allows you to play aggressively early game and not worry about your cards being retired by anything other than attacks. And if your opponent's attacking your rearguards, then they're just targeting your Vanguard.
But if they get bound,
you can get bound. Just
you
don't
start
call
crying.
stuff. Then its other skill is solid. When it attacks, this unit gets 3k until end of that battle for each card in your damage zone. So, the higher your damage, the more power it's going to be. 24k, 29k, 39k.
What is that, 2020's Limit Break?
Yeah. And just because this deck counterblasts quite a bit, you run one Boomerang Thrower. One is all I need. I see it when I need to see it. I have other counter charges in this deck, so it's like not a huge deal. And I don't want to decrease my grade 2's offensive power at the expense of countercharging. Yeah. Also, well, not just countercharging, but in a very specific countercharge, because this is how the card works. When it's placed, if you have one or less face-up cards in your damage zone, you countercharge one. It's not just on-call countercharge. And then its other one is when placed, if you have one or less cards in your soul charge one. And you do go through a little bit of soul, so like it's helpful. It's just one's all you need.
You'd
guys.
rather attack more than that.
Plus, if you call it and you somehow bait your opponent into retiring it with skills, you can use Stylish Hustler to return it to hand and use it again. Speaking of soul, you run 4 Glands Dragon. Once per turn, when your other unit attacks, if you have a grade 3 Vanguard with BC Incarnate, you Soul Blast 1 and stand this unit. That would be really shitty if the rules weren't that you could pay the cost whenever you want, once per turn, whenever the conditions are met. So that makes this card a lot better. It's just a grade 1, but again, this is an Excel deck, so you do want more offensive power. And the fact that they, just restand, like, you can create a column out of them or just use this as a booster. So your main cards that you're going to be restanding, like the grade 2s that are actually hitting for high power, you can eventually restand this to give them an additional boost. It's very, well-rounded for what it does, for its purposes. So great card to run. Great card. What I'm trying to say is that the fact that it can be both a restanding booster and a restanding attacker makes it better than something like Razor Custom. Speaking of that card I said earlier, Scarlet Bird, you run 4 Scarlet Bird. Its skill is when it's placed on rearguard during your main phase, because that would be too broken if it was battle phase, Soul Blast 1 and stand all of your units. If 2 or more of your units were stood, and if you have a white tiger in your soul, you get to draw a card. So the combo, the standard combo is you use Brutal Jack, rest 2 of your rear guards to restand Brutal Jack, and then you call Scarlet Bird, use its skill, restand those 2 rear guards, and you get a draw out of it.
Fun fact, in Japan, Scarlet Bird is Vermilion Bird, so it, what's his name, Dusty Plasma Dragon gains the 3k boost when you attack with it. Only in Japan.
That's really funny. I didn't even know about that.
It's like with,
wait, but they're 2 different clans.
I know. Exactly.
Oh, you mean like by wording?
Yeah, by wording.
Okay.
Like, just like Vermilion Gatekeeper for not Naraka, regular.
Whoa, I forgot that there's like tracking on this. Okay, you're on 3 Claydol Mechanic. This is your other countercharger that I think is arguably better than Boomerang Thrower. Its skill. Oh no, not even arguably. It is. This first skill is disgusting and should never have been made this way. When placed, if you have a total of 4 or less cards in your hand and rear guards, draw. That means that, let's say you have 1 rear guard, right? And you have 2 cards in your hand. When you call this, you get to draw. So the draw is like only helpful when your back is to the wall and you need to top deck something. It's really not that great, but its other skill is why you run it. When you counterblast, you can retire this unit and countercharge. So basically just makes your next counterblast skill free. And our other countercharge, no, this doesn't countercharge. Our other resource engine is Screamin' and Dancin' Announcer Shout. Like Morgan said, it's enslaved.
Wasn't there another shout card? What was it?
Blubber. He's like, they're enslaved. They were given these absurdist Neanderthalic names. Its skill is you get to rest it, and you and your opponent reveal the top card of their decks. I really like this card design, actually. I think it's super creative. So you rest it, both you and your opponent reveal the top card of your decks. The fighter who revealed the higher card draws a card, and the fighter who revealed the lower card soul charges a card. If the grades are the same, both you and your opponent draw. No, you do not add that revealed card to your hand and then draw and then soul charge.
Draw the revealed
you
card.
draw the revealed card or you soul charge the revealed card.
Way it works
Person
is
who told me I was wrong in the comments, please
like
delete your comment.
You reveal the top card like that, then you draw it.
Yes, exactly.
Not reveal, then draw. You fucking morons.
Yeah, someone tried to say, like, you're doing it wrong, and I'm like, please, learn
to read.
So that's all, and then you run triggers.
It should have just said, add that card to hand.
Oh my god, this motion tracking is atrocious. I forgot to turn it off. Whatever. You run 4 crits. And you run 4 fronts, specifically 8 language announcer blabber, because if you run Nova Grapplers,
8 language?
8. He's Hachi lingual. Hachi is 8 in Japanese.
I was gonna say he's C3PO.
You could do crits just because a lot of your attacks are gonna go on before you attack with your Vanguard. But I've found that front triggers help a lot in this deck defensively, because this is one of the this is a deck where it doesn't reward you for playing conservatively. So like if you're gonna call a front row, then you might as well make sure that there's some sort of added protection. And then offensively, they help a lot just because Illuminal Dragon does its thing where it restands, restands a card after attack. So it's like you attack with Illuminal. Let's say you get the front trigger, right? Great. Now you attack with another card that's plus 10k. Then you restand it with Illuminal for a plus another 10k. So it's
breaking news. A vehicular assault has just happened half a mile away. Carry on.
That's great. So there's traffic. You run 4 heals, Wallboy because it's a robot, and 4 Twin Blader. And for gifts...
Oh, talk about the guy that you try to sell off the Twin Bladers.
Some guy asked me if I had Twin Bladers, and I was like, yeah, I have an extra playset. I'll sell them to you for $3 each. They are like $6 to $7 only. And he's like, you sure you can't go lower? So if you're that kind of beta, get a fucking job.
Or just, like, pretend that you're disabled and scam the government.
Pretend?
Well, if you're playing Vanguard, you don't have to pretend.
So anyway, that's the deck profile. As for like gifts,
gift twos.
It's Nova Grappler. You need your resources. You need as much resources as possible. So please just do gift 2, and you get enough power. It's not worth running gift 1 or Excel 1.
You want to stay baby,
right?
Okay.
You are the baby robot. Anyway, that's the deck profile, guys. So comment, like. Do all that stuff that we actually just cannot make you do. And
send us fan mail.
Yeah, you know what?
I need Transformers.
You know what you can do?
Send me robots.
Just be a good member of your community. Good night, everybody. We love you.